Hello everyone, my name is Fafa Saba and welcome to my cooking YouTube channel. So I decided to do this because a lot of the times, and my friends know this, that I come up with very accidental recipes that turn out great. So you'll see that I end up repeating them. Sometimes my friends think it's a thing that I have established, but they don't know that I just came up with it. And they would ask for the recipe, and I'll give it out. So I was like, hey, why not? Why not film it? So today, me personally, I do not have a sweet tooth. I love baking. I do all of the baking, which is not much, in the winter. However, I don't have a sweet tooth. I don't like sugar. If something tastes too sweet, I don't like it. It's just like something tasting way too salty for me. So anytime I make cakes, I try to um, vary it, less sugar. Um, and I'm also conscious about, what I eat and my calorie intake. So I try to reduce it. Now, what I'm about to do today is a German apple cake for people who don't like cakes that are too sweet. So you'll see that I divided my sugar, what I'm supposed to use. I cut it in half, absolutely. But then I added one more egg, not the full egg, but one more egg white. So I have 2 eggs in here, but 3 egg whites. So I only use the egg whites from the third egg to give it a lift, since I'm not using all that sugar. So what you see in here is 1 cup of vegetable oil, 2.5 eggs, and what I'm going to do now is beat it till it's creamy before I add my sugar. All right, here we go. I'm just beating it on low to medium right now, taking my time. Oh my, I thought I put it on the pot. Okay, so as you can see, my egg is quite, my mixture of egg and oil is quite nice and fluffy. So I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar gradually. Alright, so there it is. So instead of using 2 cups of sugar, I'm using a cup of sugar and a little bit. So I let it run over a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put it in. And also, because I'm using less sugar, I added a little bit more salt than I would, just so the taste is there. All right, so what you see here is a mixture of the beaten egg and oil with sugar. I added it gradually. I just put in the last bit because I'm holding my phone, so I can't beat it and add sugar gradually and record at the same time. All right, here we go. Alright, so I have my dry ingredients here, and this here is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. I use the Badia right here, and then I have a tablespoon of baking soda. And normally if I was not using less sugar, I would have just a half tablespoonful, sorry, what I meant to say is teaspoonful. So it has 2 teaspoonfuls of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoonful of baking soda, and instead of half teaspoonful of salt, I put 3/4 teaspoonfuls of salt in there, just to up the taste a little bit. And then I just basically mix them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to my wet ingredients, and just beat it. It's going to be a really thick batter. And right over here I have my 9 by 13 inch baking pan, if you will, and this is what I'm going to be baking it in. I just really take time to mix the dry ingredients together. As you can see, the color of the flour has changed because there's the cinnamon in there. And actually I added like a tad more than 2 teaspoonfuls because I really love the smell of cinnamon. Actually, I'm baking just so my house can smell nice. And also I would like to eat it. I like that warm feeling. Alright, so this is how the batter with the apple folded in looks like. And as you can see over here, I've greased my pan and lightly floured it. So how what I did was that I rubbed vegetable oil in the pan all over, and the next thing I did was I put, you know, the stuff that the thing that chefs do that looks so cool. So I put flour in a little sieve. Let me show you the sieve. I put flour in the sieve, and then I just went all over and just shook it so that it will be an even and light distribution. And I actually shook the excess off. Alright, so what you see here is I've transferred the batter into my prepared pan. I made sure I used my hand to scrape the rest. I made sure that I got everything out, and also I tried to distribute it as evenly as I can, as much as I can, so it bakes evenly, you know. It looks like this part is, this side over here, it's a little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and even it out. Oh, I just tasted the batter. This tastes so good, and look how shiny it is. I'm so excited. So I'm going to go ahead and bake it. I'm baking it for 350 degree Fahrenheit, and I'm going to put it in for 45 minutes, or you know, I'm going to just start checking from 35 minutes going. If it tests done, then it'll be, but ultimately by 45 minutes later I should be done. While that is in the oven, and I said it was baking for 350, while that is happening, oh, that's interesting, I didn't realize it does that. Okay, while that is happening, I'm going to go ahead and clean up. I don't like leaving dishes around when I cook. Alright, see you later. I believe the cake is done. It's been what? So I checked about 5 minutes ago when it was at the 40 minutes mark. It was just left with a little bit. It needed just a couple more minutes. So I came back. Now how you generally test to see if a cake is done is that you would insert a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, it means that the cake is done. Oh, did it come out clean? Yeah, that is pretty clean. It is. Okay, so if it wasn't done, you would see particles of cake sticking to it. This is where I checked at first, and I got just a tiny bit of particle, and so that made me think that, or that made me know that it needed just a couple more minutes. It's done. It's looking good. So what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to go ahead and cut into it. I can't eat it just now because I need to get my morning workout in before I get lazy. But I have so much excitement. I'm going to cut into it, see how it looks. Oh yeah, I'm going to let it rest for a little bit, and then I'll come back and cut into it. Alright, so this is about 45 minutes later. I went to get my workout in. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm going to cut into it, and then I'll show you. You should smell my house right now. It smells so nice, and I tasted a little bit of it. It's delicious without being overly sugary. I love, love, love it. Thank you for watching. Yeah, and actually I like having this with, let's say, coffee or tea, in the morning. It's really good. It's a really good breakfast cake. It's nice and warm. Let me get it closer so you can see the pieces of apple in there. It's really, really nice. Such a nice bake.